But okay, well, we'll see what we can do. We will go ahead and get started today. So where should we begin? I'm just going to sit up nice and tall, and I'm going to calm down my energy a little bit. I've been out driving. I hear you all have been working this morning, so I'm going to just bring my energy here to the room, bring my focus to what's going on just right here in my own body. Taking a few nice, deep, slow breaths. Maybe just tuning into my senses a little bit. Noticing the sounds that I can hear, the fan, the noises in the hallway. Maybe noticing the feel of the floor underneath my feet and the chair underneath my seat, the temperature of the room. Noticing the quality of the light in the room. It's a little bit different than normal today. It's rather relaxing, I think. And I think to begin, I'm just going to take my chin up and down and up, loosening the neck gently. I'm thinking about sitting up tall and straight. And moving in a range of motion that feels good and is not painful. And then chin in neutral, so chin parallel to the floor. And I'm just going to rotate the head, turning left and right. Then back into the center, and this time I'm tilting ear to shoulder and rolling chin to chest and other side, ear to shoulder. And I'm just going to come back and forth, side to side. Looking for the path that is not painful and makes the least amount of noise. And then ending up back in the middle and going right into big, deep, juicy shoulder rolls. So shoulders up, back, and melt down your back. Squeeze them up into your ears, pull them back, and let them just slide down and relax down your back. You might sync this with your breathing, inhaling up and exhaling down. Beautiful. I'm going to sit up nice and tall in my seat and take an easy side bend. We're just going to warm up a little bit here first. See how everything feels. And then if your shoulder is okay, I'm going to take one arm, reach it up, and take it all the way over in the side bend. So add a little leverage to that side bend and switch to the other side. Reach up and over, or don't. Just reach over if your shoulder won't go. Sometimes one will do it and the other won't. Oh, that arm overhead really enhances the stretch down your side. I'm going to do that one more on each side, I think. Beautiful. Coming back to the center, sitting up nice and tall, crossing your arms like a genie, and we're going to just gently rotate around. As soon as I hit resistance, I stop and turn around the other way. Excellent. Back in the center, and let's take the spine front to back in a cat-cow. So hands on your knees. We're going to tuck your tailbone underneath you, arch your back, tuck your chin, and then lift up tall through your spine. Tilt your pelvis forward so you're pointing your belly button down at your toes and lifting up and out with the head. And back down into cat. And up into cow. And to sync your breathing, you'll exhale on cat. Exhale as you get small. Inhale as you grow big into cow. Very nice. Come back into neutral. And let's do our sun salutations. So, still perched on the front edge of your seat, we're going to take a big inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And exhale, fold forward over your lap. Empty out your lungs. Then at the bottom, inhale, come halfway up, reaching long through your spine. And then exhale all the way down. Ragdoll at the bottom, and then big inhale up. Exhale, fold forward and reach out with your head. And big inhale, halfway up. Exhale all the way down. And big inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, fold forward, really reaching out through the crown of your head. Inhale, come halfway up, reach long from head to tail. And exhale all the way down. Fully relaxing your low back at the bottom. Pause here for as many breaths as you'd like. Maybe deliberately fill up your lungs. And then when it's time to come up, draw in on your belly button, hands on your knees, give yourself some support to come up nice and slowly. Stack one vertebra on top of the other and come up nice and tall. Beautiful. Good work. Actually, let's start with circles. So sit up tall, arms hanging down by your side. We're just going to make these beautiful small circles. Moving the whole arm all the way up into the shoulder joint. And reversing direction. Nice. Then let's go for a little swim. So, of course, it's laced up. I'm going to reach forward a little bit, reach out with my arms, and I'm going to just do a little crawl stroke. So pull the elbow and the shoulder back, rotate my torso around with it, and then swing that arm up and around. Other side, pull back, up and around. Now your arm, your shoulder may go more out to the side than overhead. Doesn't matter. Either way is fine. Keep it in a range of motion that feels good and pain-free. Excellent. Come on back up to upright. Now let's go for a backstroke next. So I've got thumbs forward. I'm sweeping the arm up, around, and back. Again, mind your own range of motion. Keep it in a pain-free position. Right on. Last one. Beautiful. All right. Let's come down to the feet a little bit. I'm going to start with my feet together, knees together, and my feet right under my knees. And let's swing toes out and heels out. Heels in and toes in. Out and out. In and in. Does not matter if you get off sync. Just get your ankles moving a little bit. Get a nice stretch around the ankles. Beautiful. Nice. Coming to rest in the middle, I'm going to draw up on one knee, lift up tall through my spine, and take some easy circles there at the ankles. And reverse direction. And then switch legs. Lift up tall, draw in on your belly button, circle one way. And circle the other way. Beautiful. Okay. Let's come back up to the shoulders. I'm going to reach one arm straight out in front of my shoulder, palm out. I've got my elbow straight, and I'm reaching a little bit from the heel of the hand, and I'm just going to circle little bitty circles like I'm washing the windows, nice and controlled from all the way up here at the shoulder. Good. Other direction. Beautiful. Other arm, reach it forward and circle. And reverse. Very nice. Back to the first arm. We're going to reach out to the side, still reaching out from the palm, and circle. Reverse direction. And then switch arms. Reach it out and circle. Reverse direction. And relax that arm. Give those arms a nice wiggle. And then let's do some big, juicy shoulder rolls again, because you were holding up those arms. So up, back, and down. Up, back, and really relax it, melt it down. Nice, very good. All right, I am going to take a big inhale, sweep my arms up overhead, palms together, and I'm going to slide the palms together right down in front of my face, letting the elbows flare out to the sides, and keeping the heel of the hand pressed into one another. So you may stop here, 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 wherever, as long as your wrists feel okay. I'm going to ask you to just relax your shoulders a little bit too. And pause there for a second. Just feel a gentle stretch down your forearms and wrist. Maybe take a nice deep breath while you hold that position. And then I'm going to spread my fingers apart. So palms stay together, but fingers open wide and close back up. Beautiful, then fingers can stay together. And I'm just going to rotate from the wrist, point the fingers out in front of me, maybe down toward the floor a little bit. It depends on your own flexibility. And I'm going to hold right there for a breath or two or three. I'm going to think about relaxing my shoulders while I'm there. And then I'm going to point the fingers toward me. They only go so far, and then I'm going to pause right there for a few more breaths. Nice, and release those, give them a shake if you need to. And let's clasp our hands together, one inside the other, and draw some nice figure eights with your wrists. So this is all about just loosening up the wrist. And then reversing direction. Beautiful. Give that a shake again if you need to. And let's stretch out the shoulder. Let's do the nested elbows. So eagle arms, one elbow nests inside the other if you can. If you can't get that little nesting action, just use one hand to pull across. So I've got elbows nested, fingers wrapped around. I've got a lovely stretch on the outside edge of this upper arm shoulder. And as always, I'm pausing for a nice deep breath, letting the exhale trigger a reaction, a nice relaxation in the muscle. Then untangle your arms and try nesting again with the other elbow on top. You may notice one side is much more difficult than the other. That's okay, just don't force it. Whatever you can do is good. And just taking a couple of nice deep breaths. And untangling your arms and give them a shake and a wiggle. Beautiful. Okay, this time I'm reaching my fingertips pointing to the back behind me, and I'm going to rest them at the back edge of my chair, fingers pointing back. I'm pulling my shoulder blades toward one another on the back side of the body as I arch up and out. I'm leaning back a little bit so I have a little weight on my hands behind me for support. And reaching up and back with the head only as far as is comfortable for you. And as I fill up my lungs, I'm feeling the stretch increase across the chest and shoulders. And then coming back to the center, releasing the arms. And I'm going to take the chin up and down, straight up and down a couple of times just to reset from that deep back bend. Nice. Let's come into a bit of a goddess pose. I'm going to turn my chair so I'm sitting on the corner, because I'm just a little too short to straddle the full chair. I've got my knees and my toes pointed out to the sides. I've got my feet planted, and I'm pulling up tall through my spine. I'm going to take my knuckles, put them on the insides of my knees. So I'm pushing, I'm not really pushing, I'm holding. So I'm keeping just the tiniest bit of tension of the fingers on the knees to keep the knees turned out to the sides. And then I'm lifting up tall through the spine. So just like we do in our mountain pose, in this position, we are taking up some space. We're getting tall and wide and strong and stable. And in this particular case, divine. Now I'm going to add a little twist. So I'm going to free one hand. That's going to go up as I slide the other arm just down my leg to wherever it goes. So I'm reaching down with one arm and up with the other. And I'm just going to pause when anything in that sequence says to stop. Pause there for a breath. And then come back into the center. I'm going to pause in the middle, get nice and tall again. And then same thing in the other direction. One arm comes up, the other slides down. And just when it gets to be a teeny bit uncomfortable, I take a big breath. And come back into the center and relax. And I'm going to come back around to seated at the front of my chair. I think let's do a one-legged boat pose today. We should do something challenging. So lace up your corset, suck in tight on your belly button. You're going to need it. We're going to reach one leg out straight in front. Take that solid torso and lean it back, and then reach your fingers toward your foot, palm up. So I am pulling up and out through the crown of my head, lengthening the spine, holding with the belly It feels like everything is working, but I really want the power plant to be right there in the middle, holding tight, providing stability for you. You're just breathing and relax it all back down. Excellent. That was a good hold. Take a couple of breaths and let's try it on the other side. Reach one leg out. Of course, it's laced up. You're nice and solid through here to support you as you lean back. Palms, fingers reach forward. Lengthening from head to tail. Trying really hard not to let your spine slump. Take a nice deep breaths. Trusting that soon this will end. And there we go. Let it back down to the start. Excellent. I think you deserve a little cat-cow after that, don't you? Hands on your knees, tuck your tailbone, arch your back. That should feel good, especially if your abdominal muscles gave out just a little bit sooner than you wanted. If you felt any strain in your back, this will help. Let it go. Beautiful. Come back into the center. And I think let's do a seated twist. So I'm going to reach my hand across my lap to the outside of the opposite knee. Pull up tall through the spine and then just keep on turning, turning, turning. Until you hit resistance. And when you get there, I want you to take a big, deep breath in. Grow tall on the inhale. And then as you exhale, maybe turn just a bit more. And then we're going to unwind very carefully back to the center. Outstanding. Try the other direction. Hand across to the outside of the opposite knee. Lift up tall. Come on around. I use the back of my chair to help me. You may or may not be coming around that far. But use your breath to help you stay tall. And then rotate. Inhale up. Exhale around. And then unwind carefully back to the front. Fabulous. Good, good, good. Let's stretch both feet out, about shoulder width apart. I'm perched right on the edge of my chair, so I'm going to hold on to keep from falling off. And I'm just going to windshield wiper those toes in and out, loosening up the hip joint a little bit. Nice, very nice. Come back up to sitting upright on the edge of your chair. Stretch one leg straight out in front of you. And if you can, take that whole foot and just turn it to the side so that the inside of your knee is pointing up. You'll want to suck in on your belly button again for this. And I'm just going to lift and lower. Does not need to lift very high, because sometimes it won't, right? You're going to get a Charlie horse. You better not. You stop right before that. You stop right before that. Let's switch legs just in case. So stretch it out, turn it out to the side if you can, and lift from right there on the inside of your knee. And it's totally fine if this is just a tiny lift, right? As long as you feel a little bit of contraction in there, you're doing it just right. Outstanding. Beautiful. Come on back to center. Let's do the figure 4 stretch. So one foot rests up on the opposite knee, or you can do this across the ankle and let the knee fall out. I like to do that little wiggle first. If that's too tight, you just lean back a little bit. Or if you want more stretch in the hip of that bent leg, you're going to sit up tall and fold forward over your lap. And I'm going to ease my way down in teeny little increments. Again, using the breath to help me relax. So as I exhale, I sink just a tiny bit more into the stretch. And then switch legs. Pull up tall and slowly start to fold forward. And we're moving slowly so you can feel the resistance as it builds. If you move too quickly, you just hit the end point. But if you come into it slowly, you can feel when it first starts to resist the stretch, and that's where I pause. Nice, come back up, untangle. Let's take a wide-ish stance with your feet. You're still perched on the edge of your chair. I'm going to bring hands together and reach for the ceiling, reaching especially with my head. So it's fine if you stop with your hands lower. But I'm getting as tall as I can through my spine, taking another big side bend. One way and then the other. Back to the first side. And tall again in the center. I'm going to take a big swan dive forward. So flat back, long spine, reaching out from the head. And once I get to the end of the hip range of motion, I'm going to go ahead and relax the spine and hang like a rag doll. While I'm down here, I'm going to take some deep breaths. I'm trying to fill up the lungs and feel the diaphragm press down into the low back, opening up that tight area. And then on an exhale, I'm going to suck in on the belly button, get my hands on my knees, and roll myself back up one vertebra at a time. And there you have it. Bob's your uncle. All right, let's see if we can't wrap this up feeling good. So I'm going to get situated with my feet right under my knees, my seat and my sit bones right underneath me, my spine stacked right up over my hips, head over my shoulders. I'm going to draw the shoulders back a little bit and then relax them down. I want to try to keep them back and down. So I'm holding them there, but it's a very gentle, relaxed hold. And I'm gradually going to pull my energy back into my body. slow down my breathing. Take nice deep inhales and exhales. Fill up the lungs all the way and then empty them all the way. Squeeze out that last little bit of air so that you really want to gulp in the next one. And gradually slow it down. Gradually stop driving the pace of the breathing. Let your body have control over the natural rhythm of your breath again. You just step off to the side and notice it happening in and out in a nice, comfortable, steady rhythm. Feel the gentle rocking motion of your breath. And let's begin to direct the breath first to the scalp. So as you inhale, send the breath to the tightness that sits just under your scalp. And as you exhale, let it go. And send your breath across your brow. On the exhale, soften and relax the brow. And send your breath behind your eyeballs. Let those tired eyes relax in their sockets. And then your jaw. Inhale, gather up the tension as you clench your jaw, and exhale, sweep that tension out of your body. Soften the jaw, relax it. And then the base of your skull where it joins up to your neck, just let that soften up. Down your neck and over your shoulders, feel the relaxation creeping down your neck and shoulders. Every exhale, softening. So the relaxation spreads down your arms, over your elbows. Send a breath or two to your forearms that get so tired from gripping and holding. Just soften that up. Feel the tension drain over your wrists and into your palms and out your fingers. Every breath just releasing a little more tension. And send your breath along the sides of your spine, all down the length of your spine. We stack those vertebrae up nice and tidy so that the muscles can relax and you'll still stay upright. And soften across your low back. And your hips, release the tension there. Exhale, feel your thighs soften. Tension draining over your knees and down your calves. over your ankles and out your feet until all the tension is just pooled up on the floor at your feet, and you are perfectly still and calm, like a lake with no ripples, reflecting the sky and the scenery around you in a state of perfect peace and stillness. And just pause there to enjoy that stillness for a moment, while you remind yourself that you can come back there anytime you want by just bringing your focus back to your breath and back to your body. And whenever you're ready, you can return to the room by wiggling fingers and toes, seeing if they'll even move. Maybe open your eyes, maybe take a big stretch. Nice work, everybody. Good job, you did it. All right, you did it and you stayed.